Welcome to Season 2 of live.withcode.uk, Episode 14. So this week we're going to look at procedures so that we can do some abstract art. We're going to create some cubes in primary colours and just display them in random positions. The whole point of this is so that we can learn how to define our own procedures to make Python code more reusable and easier to understand. So it's live coding. We will start from scratch and you'll see the thought processes come together. Basically, I'd like to be able to tell Python how to draw a square. At the moment, Python doesn't know how to draw a square, and it won't do until we tell it how to. Let's see. If we want to tell Python how to do something, we'll use def to define certain behavior. We can define anything we like. We give it a name. Just like a variable, we can't have any spaces in the name of our procedures. Oops. And then anything that is indented underneath the definition is how to draw that square. I'm drawing a square. Okay, that isn't actually drawing it yet, but the idea is you can then draw your square as many times as you like, and it will repeat that code. So now instead of just saying I'm going to draw a square, let's try and actually draw one. To do that, we'll use turtle graphics. It's like a little turtle that draws on the floor as it moves around. We're going to need an object to draw with. I'll call it T because it's nice and short. Go inside the turtle module and create a new turtle object so that we can do something like t.forwards by, let's just go forwards 90 pixels. So that moved forwards by 90 pixels and then moved forwards by 90 pixels. It's gone forwards 4 times. I guess what I want to do is move forwards and then turn a right angle. To do a square, I'm going to need to do both of those things 4 times. So there's a principle in computer science of saying dry, D-R-Y, don't repeat yourself. There's lots of repetition in here, which is unnecessary. We could make this much more efficient and concise if we just say these 2 lines want to repeat 4 times, for I in range 4. So that's going to repeat these indented lines 4 times. So that's the first square. Now I'm going to draw the second square, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. So they're all in the same place at the moment, which is a bit pointless. It would be nice if I could draw a square and then teleport into a random position, or even better, teleport into a random position first and then draw a square. And then maybe we could say like this could repeat for any number of times. So for I in range, let's say we want 10 shapes. Both of these can happen 10 times, but we've got the same problem. Python doesn't know how to teleport to a random place yet until we define that behavior. So let's say, tell Python, the definition of teleporting is this. Right, and we need to set an x coordinate to do something. We need to set a y coordinate equal to something. And then we want to go to those coordinates. These should be random, and Python doesn't know how to do random stuff until we import the built-in random module, which we can then use. Random.randint will go from 200, minus 200, sorry, that's over here on the screen. 0 is in the middle, and plus 200 is over on the right. So let's do that, and then the same for y, minus 200 to 200. Which kind of works, but you can see as it teleports, it's drawing the line, which is horrible. So what we have to do first is lift the pen up, say t.pen up, and then after you've put the pen down, sorry, after you've moved, we can put the pen back down. There we go, we've got our 10 shapes. Great, so now I'd like to fill in the square and customize it a little bit more. I don't want to always just have 10 squares. Let's replace that with the number of shapes, and then we can have a constant at the top. Say the number of shapes is 10. Let's say that I don't want to draw a square, I'd like to fill in a square. but we haven't defined that behavior yet. This is telling Python to fill a square in. To tell Python how to do it needs a function definition or a procedure definition. We're only talking about procedures today. Procedures don't return a value, they just do something useful that you might want to repeat. Notice I'm not putting anything in these brackets yet. We'll come to parameters in a future episode. We're just focusing on how to define a new procedure today. Okay, so you can call a procedure from a procedure. So filling a square, I want to draw a square, which is part of it, but then I also want to fill it in. So let's say t.beginFill will start the shape that we want to fill in. We draw the shape we want to fill in, and then we say, right, we're done. End fill. So that should work. It should draw it and then fill it in, but it's going to fill it in black. I don't particularly want that. I would like a random color. And if I'd like a random color, I should probably say which colors to work with. So spell it the American way this time. Let's go for red, and green, and blue, and yellow. And then when we fill a square in, we could say, right, t.fillColor is going to be a random color. Let's just call it C. And as long as we set C before we use C, so C has to be on the line above, we can say random.choice and pass in some data to choose from. Let's choose from this constant list up here. So choice from that list of colours. Let's see if it works. Hopefully we will have, some random coloured shapes in random positions. Great. So there are a couple of challenges to work on. Let's have a look. First of all, if you just set the speed to 0 so that the shapes are drawn faster, at the top I've got t.speed 10, which is going to go quite quickly. But if we set it to t.speed 0, it's going to go as fast as it possibly can to save you the effort of having to wait each time. If you want to make it display 20 squares instead of 10, that's easy. You just need to change one of the constant values at the top of the program. Or you could add an extra value into the list so that it could potentially add pink squares as well. If you want a more substantial challenge, I would recommend creating your own procedure. But remember, you can get links to the resources in the description of this video, and the extension challenge and the debug challenge will really help you creating your own procedures. So remember to find the links on live.withcode.uk, and I hope this has been useful. I will see you next week.